Hello everyone and welcome to another daily chat with Andy the Gabby Cabby. I hope you're all doing all right today and your prospective days have gone as well as they can be. Now, I want to thank you first of all for yesterday indulging Jack in a little 2.5 minute live stream. We had a bit of a problem with regard to the allocation of an airport run. I had a lady coming in from Australia, and she was coming via Dubai, and the flight was a bit fucked up, and because of the delay I had to step in at last minute and go and do it. And I thought, well, let's get something recorded. I know you like Jack, so I thought I'd get him to read off a little script and show you what he did at school today, just as a little space filler. And I hope you're all right with that, and I thank you for your nice comments I saw. I must admit YouTube were quite good as well, because I noticed that as well as the live comments that you see, you have comments where you can, put things on the video afterwards. And for some reason, YouTube disabled that. Now, I do wonder if the algorithm detected it was a child and turned that off. I thought that was, quite clever, really. I suppose it safeguards him from any unnecessary nonsense. But those of you that were in the chat, you were great. Well, I have a little bit of an announcement to make as well on the basis of pre-recordings. That is exactly what this live stream is. I'm not actually here right now. I've had another situation today with the airports whereby I've had to go up there at about 20 to 7. And right now, as you read this, I'm either at Gatwick still, or I'm on my way back from Gatwick. It all depends on what the flights are and everything else. I don't actually know at this stage what's going on until I check, but to my point of view now, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So please talk amongst yourselves as you normally do. I love this community here. We all get on so well. And Anna Perkins the other day summed it up quite nicely when she responded to that little birthday message for her, Jack, about how well we all get on. But unfortunately today, I can't intermingle with you like I normally would, but I wanted to record this so you ended up with something rather than nothing, which is what you sign up for and what you actually expect every day. That goes down well, that does. The temperature in here, by the way, has actually dropped quite considerably, so I am starting to wonder whether I can go back into my car and do the live streams from where they should be done in the car. After all, I am Andy the Gabby Cabby, and that's where you expect me to be. So we'll see what happens. Speaking of the hot weather, I reported to you over the last couple of days we've had these fires, suddenly popping up everywhere, and we're all of a similar view. There's something very fishy going on. How they just suddenly all cropped up all at once, followed by these eco-nutters who I have reported, again, were out on the road this morning causing trouble, which had a bit of a detrimental effect on at least 3 of my drivers, one of which wanted to do the necessary and run the bastards over. But, who would get in trouble for that? They certainly wouldn't, that's for sure. But yeah, one of the fires, I think it was in Scunthorpe, correct me if I'm wrong, but they've actually found it was started deliberately. It was arson. There was a big field round the back of some houses, and obviously all dried up in this weather, of course. Boom, it all flared up into a right nasty shitstorm, and we pretty much predicted there was an element of this going on. The one just by the side of the A2 near Dartford, I fully expect them to come out with any time now that was a fag end flung out of a car or a bottle or something else like that. Obviously not helped by the warm weather, but the media seem to be, trying to convince us all to stay indoors and batten down the hatches, and that's been very much apparent on the roads over the last few days, because I hardly saw anybody at rush hour. It's like they went into work from home mode again. And Bev Turner on GB News has been going off on one about this as well, getting quite aerated about it. That's worth a watch. But now, of course, the heat wave is over, they're on to the next best thing, thunderstorms. Have a look at this, right? Let's pull this up on my screen here. Get rid of my mate who keeps Facebook messaging me. There you go, look at that headline. It's gone sideways. There you go. See that big thunderstorm picture there? Yes, that looks quite dramatic, doesn't it? The way the mainstream media would make that look. And we've got Met Office issues another thunderstorm warning in post-heat wave washout. I mean, I drove back last night and I nearly aquaplaned a few times. There was quite a deluge coming down. A thunderstorm warning has been issued for large swathes of southern England. The post-heat wave washout is expected to hit parts of southwest and southeast England, along with areas of Wales from 10 AM on Friday. A 12-hour yellow alert warning for lightning and sudden flooding will remain in place until 10 PM. It comes after temperatures reached an unprecedented 40.3 degrees on Tuesday, making it the UK's hottest day ever. Well, 40.3 degrees for this country, I suppose. Major fire incidents were declared in London, Norfolk, Suffolk, Lincolnshire, Leicestershire, South Yorkshire, when bone-dry fields and woodland went up in flames. And of course the media made that look like it was all down to climate change, when in fact it was probably arson or some other mitigating factors, obviously not helped by the warm conditions. There were no deaths, but more than 40 houses and shops were destroyed by huge grass fires spreading to nearby buildings, including in Wellington, Dagenham and Kenton. So quite widespread. Claire Taylor, 40 years old, lost all but her grandfather's ashes, some photos and clothes when the fire hit Wellington. Her family was around 90 people to be evacuated, and while residents sought to rescue pets and salvage belongings, some had to flee with literally nothing. Barnsley endured one of the worst fires, where 6 houses on Woodland Drive were engulfed after a blaze broke out in the back garden. Locals battled the flames with hose pipes for 45 minutes until crews arrived in a desperate attempt to stop it spreading to more homes. Elsewhere in South Yorkshire, there was a serious fire in the village of Clayton, while there was 280 fires in Norfolk alone on Tuesday. Suffolk crews were called to more than 60 incidents, describing the situation as unprecedented. Yes, the whole thing was unprecedented, but you know, that's quite a widespread area and an awful lot of fires all at once. And as I already said, one of them was declared as arson, and I wonder how much will come out of the woodwork over the next couple of days about this. It really is a telling situation. But one thing's for sure, when you know, it gets hot in this country, we can't cope with it. Everything grinds to a halt, a lot like when it snows heavily as well. Yet we can go to Dubai, where it's 40+ degrees all the time, and have no trouble whatsoever. It's an incredible thing, really. That's enough of the weather. I'm sick of it now. Let's just hope it gets to a more manageable temperature. I got sent a message earlier about Martin Lewis, complaining again about the conduct of Facebook, of all things. There are an awful lot of adverts going around with Martin Lewis's face on, basically trying to get people to sign up to crypto scams. And that's exactly what they are, crypto scams. And they're using celebrities' faces to try and fake some sort of endorsement. You know, big time scam alert here. Do not go anywhere near them, because it will end badly. You will lose an awful lot of money. Now, Martin Lewis is particularly pissed off, and I can't say I blame him, because he's already sued Facebook in the past for this, unbelievably. As part of the settlement involved with that actual court case, involved raising awareness of these potential scam adverts, and also providing funding to people like Citizens Advice to try and stop this happening in the future. And it's happened again, and he said he's you know, actively considering his options. So what's he going to do this time? Sue them again? You know, as soon as the algorithm takes over, it goes very much on what the user wants to see, based on what they view on a regular basis online. You've had it, they keep coming. And I have to wonder why Facebook allow these paid ads, which are obvious scams, to actually be prevalent all over the place and rob people of their money. It doesn't make any sense. And then you get the likes of me, you know, just a commentator, come out with stuff, and I can get my collar felt instead. It's ridiculous. This is the Daily Chat with Andy the Gabby Cabby, everybody. I hope you're doing all right today, this evening, and your day's gone okay. If you haven't done so already, please give the chat a thumbs up, and that's wonderful. I like to try and get 100 likes at least on every chat if I can, and you know, this one should be no different, and I hope you can do that for me. That's wonderful. And if you haven't done so already, please make sure you subscribe to the channel as well. I just want to take a moment to thank all of the channel subscribers. I've noticed after the little bit of time I had off after the death of my friend, everything is coming back. You know, we've gone up by a couple of 100 subscribers again, which is wonderful. I want to thank all the Patreon supporters and also the channel members as well. You can see everybody in the chat with a little emblem or green writing next to them. Those are the channel members, and they pay a token gesture of £1 a month just to keep me in Diet Coke, Pepsi, or whatever else my particular brew is at that time of day. And now it's orange squash. Seems the best thing in this weather. There's that word again, beginning with W. I can think of other W words, but never you mind about that. Anyway, let's have a look at another story, shall we? I had a bit of a problem a while back. I got busted by a speed camera coming back from an airport run. Silly mistake. I got clocked doing about 5 miles an hour over the top. Nothing at all. I didn't slow down in time. Flash, speed awareness course. How's your father? Thank you very much. Now, I think these things are just big revenue generators. I really do. And they put them in the most inexplicable of places. For example, we have a place in our local vicinity. John Kent will know about this one if he's listening. You go through a town called Birchington and down a hill, and then it leads onto a bit of dual carriageway, and there's average speed cameras all the way up that road, trying to enforce a 50-mile-an-hour speed limit. But what they do sometimes, they put a police camera van at the bottom of the hill to catch people coming down, obviously not holding their speed at the relevant speed limit on the way down. Revenue generation. It happens all the time, and you get little notes on the local Facebook groups actually saying, you know, look out for that camera van parked down the bottom, and then you get all the people bollocking them saying you shouldn't say where the speed cameras are. It's really quite funny to watch. But I had to laugh at this guy. I don't know whether I can show you this picture. I mean, it obviously happened in the heat wave, judging by how he's dressed. You can see him there with his crop top, his shorts, his hat, his sunglasses, sat on the roof of a Nissan Micra in front of a speed camera van, no less, obviously not giving two fucks. I love it. I absolutely love it. A bucket hat wearing driver waved to passers-by from the top of his Nissan after parking directly in front of a speed camera van. Roofer Dennis Richardson noticed the strange sight up ahead and got his phone out while sitting in the passenger seat. I noticed they clarified that one. He gave the chilled out protester sporting a red vest, shorts and sunglasses a thumbs up as he passed him in Maidstone, Kent. Oh, Maidstone, it's very local to me. I bet that was on the old 249. The police van was barely a metre from the back of his grey car, which just so happened to be blocking drivers from getting speeding tickets. Dennis said, I was literally driving up the road with my son and he was there, parked in front of the speed camera. As we turned back, we had to film it. God knows how long he was there. I laughed. I thought, that's brilliant. well, it did appeal to my sense of humour as well. I've heard about people parking their cars, vans and lorries in front of them, but he was just sitting on the roof quite happy, waving at everybody as they passed by. I bet he got a suntan as well. Despite getting in their way, Kent police said no criminal offences were identified and no further action was necessary. A spokesperson confirmed the driver was spoken to and moved on after the police van was briefly blocked. Another plan on doing the same stunt should think again, as just last year, pensioner Jack Curtin became the first person in Britain to be prosecuted for blocking a speed camera. The 63-year-old mobility scooter user claimed the vans were illegally obstructing his access to pavements. He was fined £400 after using his walking stick to block the mobile speed camera on no less than 12 separate occasions. And let's not forget that terminally ill guy that I reported on a while back, who actually decided on his bucket list he wanted to drop his cax and moon a speed camera van at the same time. I thought that was absolutely hilarious, but again, it's like they make up the law as they go with regard to this sort of thing, isn't it? There's no fixed rule for one or t'other. I mean, in this case, it might have been more trouble than it's worth to make anything of it. Kindly come down, sir, and fuck right off. That might have been what the case was, but yeah, really funny. And I guess there's other people like that all over the place. I even heard a story once about somebody stealing the number plate off of a police camera van and then going speeding everywhere, and they end up with a load of tickets. I don't know whether that was true or not, but again, quite a funny story if it was. Yes, so I hope you're getting on all right, everybody, in the chat. It kind of feels strange not being here and pre-recording this, but as I said, I wanted to give you something rather than nothing, you know, to give you what you expect. Tomorrow I'll be on the road again. I've actually got what we call a double airport run. I've got to go to Gatwick Airport and then up to Heathrow, and I've got a large gap of time in between the two. So what I'm hoping is I can do a live stream from somewhere up there, just not you know, come in and say hello to everybody, and I'll actually schedule that when I know well, what's going on, what the flight times are and everything else of that nature. Yes, there's another amusing story here as well, to do with non-payment for services rendered. I mean, in my game, I don't get this an awful lot. It does happen every now and again, but you know, not an awful lot, and I deal with it quite harshly when I do. But you get tradesmen from time to time, builders and all that sort of thing, who don't get paid when they should be, and arguments ensue and all sorts of things. And sometimes you get quite a novel response through from a tradesman with regard to not being paid. And this story here is a tree surgeon, and what he's done, he's dumped his load on a woman's lawn after she refused to pay him. Now, when they say dumped his load, I'm assuming he means a fucking great pile of bushes. This is the awkward moment an angry tree surgeon took revenge on a customer over a £40 pay dispute. And you have a look at this picture here. Bloody thing's gone sideways again. There you go, see? You can see there, I think he trimmed her bush and she didn't want to pay for it. Jamie Young, boss of A1 Tree Surgeons, Whitworth, Lancashire, discarded 2 bulging sacks of hedge clippings over a woman's fence in Rochdale, Manchester. His vengeance was after she allegedly refused to pay for a job because a hedge in her garden was not pruned into the shape of a Christmas tree. It's July, it's hot. Why do we want fucking Christmas trees? Footage shared on Facebook showed the 37-year-old boss and his 2 assistants dumping 1/4 ton of the trimmings on her lawn. This is what happens to customers who refuse to pay for the job. Jamie, a dad of 5, can be heard telling the person behind the camera. A further caption along the video said, I did not want to do this, and it's the first time in 15 years I've had to. This is what happens when you refuse to pay for a job. Your waste will be returned, as I'm well within my rights to do so. Jamie said he suspected something was wrong when the woman hid in her house. He obviously came round for payment. He claims she texted to say she would not be paying for the work carried out on July the 11th, as it was not what she asked for. Tree surgery is something I've been doing all my life, and a few professional gardeners have told me there's nothing up with the tree, he said. I explained when I was quoting that you can't have a conifer at a point when they're pruned. You can't make something look like a Christmas tree when it doesn't want to be, because they're all dead inside. I think she thought she'd rip me off, and if I kicked up a fuss I'd look bad on me, but she thought wrong. It backfired. I mean, some of these pictures are wonderful. This was a last resort to get my point across that it's not on. Personally, I'd have sued her, even over 40 quid, it's a principle. It lets people know it's not on, and it'll backfire on you. I don't think she realised how far I would go. A1 Tree Surgeons claims to have received text from the woman on Friday show her complaining Jamie made a right pig's ear of the trimming of her bush. The angry client stressed the tree is not symmetrical or level on top, and said the treatment she received is disgusting. She said she repeatedly asked for his qualifications and insurance details to make a claim about the work he did. Jamie admitted the ordeal has nothing to do with money and instead is about principle. It's a bit of a sorry situation over 40 quid. You'd expect it to be over 1,400, 4,000, but not 40. He added, I don't expect a penny until people have seen the job and they're happy with it, and that's how I've always worked. If you let one person do it, then I'll have 1 week and they'll try to do it. Loads of tradesmen have said the same. I mean, this is what he's done. This has all ended up over the fence and back into her back garden. That's quite a lot of bush trimmings there, all for what? She's thoroughly pissed off the wrong guy. I mean, this is the actual bush in the middle of all the fuss. I mean, that looks like a tidy bush trimming to me, don't you? I can't quite see where the woman is coming from, but with all things, there's probably more to this than meets the eye. Let's see if this video will play. No, it's not going to... Oh, well, hang on a minute. Yes, it will play. Let's turn the volume up. This is what happens to customers who refuse to pay for a job, he says. Well, there you go. Don't piss off a tree surgeon is the moral of the story. Yes, I would have loved to have seen the look on her face when that happened, folks. I really would. Listen, folks, this is the Daily Chat with Andy the Gabby Cabby. As I said earlier, it's pre-recorded. It's actually the middle of the afternoon from my point of view right now. I had to do it this way today just so you had something, some kind of contact from me in the form of a live stream, and I hope it's gone okay. Please hit the thumbs up if you haven't done so already. We really need to get to 100 of those each time we do one of these, and it's so good to you know, have everybody in the chat and contributing as you do. I'm going to wrap things up for now and get this spliced together, edited and online, so it's there for you at the appropriate time later. There is another video coming out at 9 o'clock this evening, all about some BBC shenanigans, all to do with that Panorama interview with Princess Diana all those years ago. I worked out, 25 years nearly she's been gone. Incredible stuff. Anyway, I'm off. There'll be some more content for you tomorrow, and as I said, when I worked out what I'm doing, there'll be a live stream while I'm out on the road doing my thing. So until then, toodaloo.